Colorado real estate market has changed. And if you're still buying or selling like it's 2020 or 2021, you're probably having a really frustrating experience. Here's what's interesting. I'm seeing homes sitting on the market. I'm seeing sellers negotiate again. I'm also seeing buyers get closing costs covered. And I'm seeing builders offers/incentives that would almost be unheard of a few years ago. But in the same breath, I'm still seeing really good homes in great locations get multiple offers. So no, the Colorado housing market is not dead, it's just changed. And whether you're thinking about buying or selling here in 2026, here are all the things you need to know. It's Kassi Malkin here, your favorite Colorado realtor. Make sure to follow me on all the social media handles, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And as always, I am your real estate partner here in the Front Range area. So whatever you need, click that link in my bio and let's get it started. I'm going to talk about 4 different things in this video. One of them is that buyers, you have leverage again. Number 2, I'm going to talk about how builders have changed the game. Number 3, this is for you sellers. This is where things get a little bit uncomfortable. And last but not least is going to be here's what I'm seeing on the ground. So if you want to stay for the full video or watch a different segment that you're interested in, that's what we're going over today. I want to start with buyers because this is where the biggest shift in our market has happened. If you remember the 2020 or 2021, what we call COVID market, buyers did not have much leverage at all. In fact, most buyers were paying 100, 200 grand over list price, offering appraisal gaps, waiving inspections. I mean, buyers were truly going above and beyond to get into a house, and now things are actually completely 180. This is not the market that we're in today. Today, as a professional, I can start looking at a property that's been sitting on the market and ask the questions, is the seller motivated? Will they pay closing costs? Can we negotiate purchase price? Will there be any interest rate incentives or buy downs? What about the inspection? Can we get all the things on our list repaired and checked off? I'm actually really excited for buyers in this changing market because you're getting into a home with a much better equity position. Back in 2020 and 2021, people overpaid so tremendously that right now equity is not meeting their needs. Yes, interest rates have changed and they are making payments more unaffordable. However, the sticker price of the home isn't the only number we can negotiate anymore. We're negotiating the entire deal, just like we used to prior to COVID. So let's move on to how builders have completely changed the game. So post 2020, about 2023 is when we started seeing this. Builders started offering crazy interest rate incentives. And here's why. In 2023, we saw a shift from interest rates being at 2 to 3%, all the way up to 6 to 7. I saw interest rates hit 9% at one time in 2023. And so this obviously made a lot of buyers sit on the fence. There was a lot of talk that the market was getting expensive. You know, buyers had this expectation that they should get a 2% interest rate. And in 2023, those dreams were absolutely crushed. And so what did builders do? They came into the picture and they said, you know what? We're going to offer interest rate incentives of 3, 4, 5% to make consumers want to come buy with us. Fast forward to today, that same thing is still very much happening. As you know, I'm the Lennar National Home Builder List Assist agent. And with that being said, I can tell you right now, Lennar is offering anywhere from 3.99% to 4.25% in a fixed interest rate for FHA, conventional, and VA purchasers. This is huge for home buyers because you now can get a reasonable monthly payment, closing cost coverage, blinds, appliances, everything move-in ready, just like you used to back in 2020. So the buyers who are feeling like, you know, the $4,000, $5,000 monthly payment is too much, builders are coming in and absolutely dominating those payments by offering interest rates that significantly reduce the monthly payment amount. In fact, I just helped a family a couple months ago who thought that living in their townhome was the only option for their family of 5, and we actually were able to get them a new build, single-family home on a corner lot that was less than their monthly payment on their townhome. I mean, when I tell you builders are changing the game, they are changing the game, believe me. In segment 3 of this video, let's talk about sellers and why things are getting a little bit uncomfortable for you in this changing market. I think we've hit this roadblock between buyers and sellers where sellers feel like I want top dollar and buyers just aren't willing to pay it right now. And so the tough conversation I've been having with sellers is not only does your property have to be truly market ready, and I'm talking about there needs to be sweat equity done to get it to that point, sellers are also just feeling a little bit fatigued. Like maybe they're not getting the amount of money they want out of their house, or maybe they have to stay put just because it's not the right market to sell. Right now, you cannot just simply put a sign in the yard, the house on the MLS, and assume someone is gonna buy it. You have to be strategical about the price point, the condition of your home, and how it's marketed. Luckily for you, when you work with a professional like me, you get my social media and engagement automatically included when you hire me. Per listing, I average about 15,000 views, several comments, and most of the time I'll even bring a buyer for you so you can save some money on the buyer side commission. And let me tell you, your first impression matters a lot. Buyers have options these days. I had a situation this past week where we listed a townhome in Evans, Colorado. There was not one, not two, but 5 different townhomes listed in the same neighborhood, and most of them were around the same price. The only downfall for my seller is that the builder was selling some of these units still, which meant that they had the lower interest rate and closing cost coverage. So we strategically got together, cleaned up her home, made sure it was completely show ready, and we marketed all the very profitable facts about it. The landscaping was done, no need to worry about fencing. It was completely move-in ready, all appliances included. Plus, we listed it very competitively at $299, which was significantly below the new build. That way we would drive multiple offers and get her the best price possible. We ended up going under contract $25,000 over our list price, which made her very happy, and it got us a really strong offer with great terms. Let me tell you, the agent that you work with, the strategy that you have, and your willingness to provide a really great product to the buyer right now is essential. And sellers, the reason why I'm telling you that you're probably uncomfortable right now is because you're having to do things that are uncomfortable. Back in 2020, you didn't have to repaint your house. You didn't have to get a deep cleaning. You probably didn't even have to stage if you didn't want to. And you could kind of name your price, and most people were showing up and writing you a great offer. Not in today's market. Anyhow, working with a great professional can alleviate all of these stressors and pain points. So click that link in my bio and fill out the seller questionnaire. So, obviously I'm boots on the ground every day. What exactly does that look like in the real estate market if you're a buyer or if you're a seller? Real estate is hyper local here in Colorado. Not only do we have a great job market here in Colorado, we also cater to touristic / amenity driven things like the mountains, skiing, lakes, fishing, camping, whatever you want to call it. So people want to live close to where they want to play. What's happening in Denver will look very different from what's happening in Boulder. What's happening in Longmont will look very different than what's happening in Loveland. What happens in Loveland will look very different from what's happening in Fort Collins. Although all these cities are only about 30 minutes apart, they're very different when we talk about the real estate market. I'm seeing buyers negotiate aggressively on some houses while not even paying mind to others. And most importantly, I'm seeing sellers that prepare really well and have great outcomes versus sellers who don't really mind how their house looks on the market and they probably aren't getting great results. This is why I wouldn't categorize Colorado as a buyer's market or a seller's market. I would truly call this an honest market. The folks who are doing the right things and paying mind to all the little details are having a lot of success. It's a market full of opportunity if you're an opportunist. So, if I were buying in Colorado right now, here's what I'd do if I were you. First and foremost, I would not be waiting around to see what the market does. I would get in touch with a professional to figure out a great game plan and strategy for you individually. I would set monthly payment goal expectations to your lender and your realtor. If it's something that can't be met, your business partner should be very honest with you about that. If it is something that can be done, this is the market to negotiate it. I would definitely compare builder incentives. Buyers have a lot of leverage with builders. It might be something that's worth taking a look at. I'd ask for concessions, I'd ask for interest rate buy downs, and I would absolutely negotiate if I were a buyer right now. People always say, buy when stocks are low, and I'm telling you right now, the real estate market has taken quite. Financial experts will tell you, buy stocks when they're low, and right now, real estate market has leveled out, and it is in its most honest state that it's ever been in. The advantage to you as a buyer is if you can get in right now, you're probably gonna have equity, and you're probably gonna be right side up on your house. And that, to me, is the only important thing. You also have options right now which you didn't have in 2020. So instead of settling for the house with one less bedroom than you wanted, you can get all the things on your wish list, plus you can get everything you want when it comes to price, terms, and negotiating factors like inspection. If I were selling right now and I was on the opposite side of that totem pole, here's what I would do. Number one, I would absolutely find an agent with a big social media presence. It's just necessary right now. I understand Zillow has about 75% of buyer consumers. However, social media is taking over the real estate industry. People are commenting on social media posts for showings, additional information, and if you can get your realtor to find you a buyer, it will save you a lot of money. I would also make my house the easiest one to say yes to. I'm someone who will partner with you to pay for staging, photography, paint touch-ups, anything we need to get the house on the market, because I believe that a well-marketed property is the best outcome you have for selling for top dollar. So if you're looking for that, again, click that link in my bio. I'd also make showings as easy as possible right now. If buyers have any friction when scheduling a showing or looking at your property, it's going to be very hard to get them to stay completely focused on your house. Remember, there's a lot of inventory. Just in your neighborhood alone, there could be multiple listings. If it's hard to get into yours, you can imagine it's probably easier for them to just go to your next door neighbor's house. Your goal is to become the house buyers compare everything else against. So to sum this all up, the market didn't die, it's just changed. When someone tells you, or if you read a headline that says, the Colorado housing market is terrible, my response is, for who exactly? Because to generalize it all as terrible is just not correct. There are buyers securing really great opportunities right now, and some sellers are still getting multiple offers. So again, real estate here is very hyper-local. The Colorado market didn't disappear, and it's not terrible. The leverage has just changed hands. And knowing how to use that leverage is what matters most. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing anywhere from Denver all the way to Northern Colorado, reach out to me, tell me what you're trying to accomplish, and I'll help you figure out what opportunities actually exist in today's market. And if you want me to make a video breaking down where I think the biggest real estate opportunities are in Colorado right now, comment opportunity below. Thank you so much for being a part of this week's Real Estate Tips and Tricks with Kassi Malkin, your favorite Colorado realtor. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep making these videos. And click that link in my bio and fill out the buyer or seller questionnaire. That's the very first step to working with me. All right, ciao for now.